Good morning. Welcome to the Sunburst Sunday service. And we've been blessed with so much rain and wind, and it's been beautiful. And we're going to begin. Well, I'll mention the topic. The topic is stilling the mind, finding peace within. I have the great fortune and blessing to live on a cattle ranch. This ranch has about 200 cattle, and this time of year we have a lot of beautiful young calves with their moms. Last week I was driving back from the other community. We have several community clusters on the ranch, and I was driving back, and I was kind of busy, I was going to a job and I was kind of busy and worked up. And I happened to look out the window and there were these two baby calves. They were snuggled up against their mother. And all of a sudden I was just flooded with peace. And this is a really important thing because I enjoy going out in nature and hiking, and I really feel that that's good for our souls, that we have a time where we can break. I'm so blessed to be able to live on this property. It's just so wonderful. And with the beeping of the car, we make ourselves calm and yeah. We had a meditation center in Salt Lake City about 30 years ago, the Sunburst Community, and we were having a Sunday service. We had this big dining room. I was restoring this big mansion in Salt Lake City, and we had a big table and chandeliers, and we were right next to a street, and the 4 blocks up was the fire department, and it must have been right in the middle of the meditation. We heard this horrendous crash. This fire engine had come down, and this black Camaro had pulled out right into the intersection, and wham! What I found out later, he's just kind of spun around, and he was okay, but it just hit right in the front. And another time, we were sitting there meditating, and it was a Saturday morning, and this guy, he was driving down that same street, and he was hitting all the parked cars along the way. Crash, bang, boom. He was obviously not in his right mind. But we continued on with our meditation, and everyone had such a wonderful, I think, a really deep appreciation. And afterwards, we surveyed the damage along the highway there on the other side of the street. But anyway, that was another story. Okay, where am I here? I've been able to, over the years, to use mantras or affirmations to help me calm my mind. One of my favorites, and everyone has their own mantra they can use. Mine is, I am calm, I am peaceful, I am relaxed. And just say that over and over again, and it really, really helps. Another one I use is, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not these senses, immortal self am I. And I find that that's a very good walking mantra. It's like, one foot, I am not this body, and the other foot, I am not this mind, and you can kind of do a walking meditation. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk who passed recently, did a lot of walking meditations with groups, and it's so important he was able to meditate and enter a deep state of peace by walking. And so that's a wonderful tool. A couple days ago, I was watching this program. It was an interview with Eckhart Tolle, and the particular topic was calming the mind. So I thought this was an excellent topic to segue into what I was going to be talking. And basically, what he was saying is that when we have negative thoughts, or it creates, it can create all this emotion inside of us, anger, and it affects like your stomach and your heart, and those can have adverse effects on our health. And doctors are finally realizing the connection between your mind and your body in terms of health, and I think it's pretty well known that it's so important to be calm and not react. Positive thoughts, those are also important too. Giving love and acknowledgement relaxes the mind and eliminates the self-talk. When I was going through I went through this process because I was having problems with some personal problems, anxiety and panic, stuff. And the person that was helping me was saying that if you're in a negative space and your mind is like evaluating all these thoughts, and what you're going to do, and why is that person doing this, and all that stuff. It's the information that you're receiving or open to receiving is about 95% false. In other words, it's you could never really find the truth of a situation because you've worked it up so much in your mind, and of course everyone knows that. It's just, and then when you actually enter the experience, you talk to the person, or you're performing or something. It's just totally wonderful, and the person is just really nice, and you feel so at peace. And the other aspect of stilling the mind, and the important thing for me, is to become aware that that what I am is not this mind or this body. I mean, there's a deep awareness that there's an observer. Eckhart Tolle uses the word observer. My teacher, Paramahansa Yogananda, and Norm Paulson talk about the pure self within. And that pure self is like a spiritual ground. It's just, it's been always there. It's always present. And when you touch it, it's just joy and calmness and peace. And his inner experience in this life is to go within himself and to show that he was a sphere of crystal spherical consciousness that expanded outwards. And he reached a point of expansion where the creation was just a bubble in his consciousness. And that bubble was the iridescent sphere of creation. And to realize how vast that is, I watched this program on the size of the sphere of creation is about 93 billion light years across, and it's expanding. And this little bubble he was looking at was that 90, my mind just can't, so that's, my mind can't understand that. I would like to share an experience that I had about almost 50 years ago now. But it illustrates the connection between the body and the mind and the spirit. I had been meditating about a year using the Sunburst meditation, and it was in the summer of 1974. I was living on an isolated ranch in the middle of the Santa Barbara backcountry. And one afternoon I was walking across the grassy lawn in front of the cookhouse, and we had like a little adobe and a meditation room. And all of a sudden, I had this tremendous pain in my stomach, and then my head was just swimming, in dizziness. And the next thing I knew, I was lying on the grass. And the next thing I knew, I was in I had a wiki up, which is it was like a Native American enclosure where you would sleep, basically get out of the weather. And I was lying there for about 2.5 days. And what happened was, I wasn't able to meditate at all for the first 48 hours. I was just some of the sisters were handing me, giving me herbal teas to drink, white sage and elderberry. I'd highly recommend those. Those are really good. And then I had this desire on the morning of the third day to sit up and meditate. But my head, my mind was going through this whole symphony of why I couldn't do this thing. Why, what are you doing? It's like you're so nauseous and you're so weak. And I said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do my meditation. And I did a couple I got my breath going really calm, up and down. And then, as I was doing the circulations, we call the circulations in the Kriya, all my pain and everything was like all the thoughts and everything were like a distant voice. They kind of melted away. And I found myself in this great expanding space. It was like just a space of, I can't even describe it. It was like total peace, total love, total wellness. And then I realized that was who I am. That was my true home. And that was what Yogananda was talking about years ago when he said, I'm trying to get my, well, anyway, I realized years ago that's what Yogananda had said about calming the mind, that it brings you into that deep place of awareness of your true home. I'd like to share a few of the words of some of our great teachers, spiritual teachers. The book on the Divine Romance is a collection of talks that Yogananda gave over the years. And in this one chapter, he's talking about his relationship to his teacher, Sri Yukteswar. Yogananda had come to Sri Yukteswar as a teenager, probably 16 or 17. And being a teenager, it's a tough time. But Yogananda had been meditating on his own with a friend since he was 5 or 6 years old. Deep meditations, they'd go together and go up into their parents' attic, and he was already getting realizations and everything. But Yukteswar, one day, he said to all his disciples, take time to be silent or sit quietly in meditation. And the way he said it was like essential. If you can do that, and he was talking about doing it morning and evening, and there's no excuses. And then he also said to Yogananda, and Yogananda had to catch a train to go back to his house. So at the last 15, 20 minutes, Sri Yukteswar was in this deep meditative state where he was talking and laying these and opening these words. And Yogananda was thinking about the train and the time, and Yukteswar just picked right up on that. And he said, You have not learned to be at peace in your home within because you're always restlessly chasing about in your own mind. And he says you can either stay with me and stay in the present moment and then go. He also said if you want to awake from this dream world, you must practice calmness no matter what happens. And I know with me that was a challenge because when those cars were crashing and everything, or we had another thing, I don't know why all these stories are coming up. We were meditating at our first community, and we had a kitchen on the other side of the meditation room, and the back door was left open during the meditation, and we had chickens that were kind of grazing down below on the outside, and someone brought up their dog, a visitor, a German Shepherd dog, and about the middle of the meditation, there was this. We had all the big pots and pans hanging on the wall from the inside of the, and the dog had chased the chickens up into the pots and pans, and everything went crashing down. It was like somebody playing, right in the middle, and it was like everyone jumped about 3 feet high and relaxed. But again, Norm was there, and we just kind of kept meditating and got through the whole process. Okay. I think at this point we're going to try to kind of ease into our meditation. And if you have a practice, you can use that. It's important to sit up straight, your spine straight, and to keep your knees lower than your hips. When you're sitting on a chair, you can kind of maybe fold your legs, or sitting on a pillow, maybe elevate them a little more with another pillow or blanket. And so we just want to be able to take some deep breaths. Just notice our abdomen, our stomach. Is it tense? Mine is at this point. And just take some breaths in and out, deep breaths. Now we want to center our attention between the two eyes, inward from the two eyes, and we want to sit in that place, down from the crown of the head, in from the two eyes. And Patty will play the bowls to bring us into a point of focus and awareness, and then we can begin our journey of peace. would say many, many times, find a quiet place to sit in silence and to meditate. And in that place, gather in the morning after you arise, and in the evening before you prepare to go to sleep. And if you do that, and keep doing that, someday you will find your true home. And also to fuel your practice with devotion and love for the image of how you want to see Divine Spirit appear to you that brings you that devotion. But it starts with our mind and coming to stillness. The mind can be quite unruly, as we know. Sri Rudaswar said to Yogananda, as soon as your mind becomes restless, give it a whack with your will in order it to be calm. And I don't know if I'd want Sri Yudhiswar to be my teacher. He was pretty stern but loving, and he was a lion, jhana, a lion of wisdom. And Yogananda was a very devoted and benefited much from Yudhiswar and achieved spiritual balance in his life. So in closing, I'd like to do a prayer, and then we'll have a closing song. You can follow me if you like. O Divine Spirit, our Mother and Father, give us the strength to go on with this life. And if it is your will, bring to us friends, teachers that can help support us and guide us to our true home. Amen.
When I hear the Om as I still my mind, heaven is here, heaven is near, heaven is near right now. When I see your light as I meditate, heaven is here, heaven is near, heaven is here right now. feel your love in the garden of peace. Heaven is here, heaven is here, heaven is here right now. When each face I see shines just like the sun, heaven is here, heaven is here, heaven is here right now. When virtue rules and guides our lives, heaven is here, heaven is here, heaven is here right now. When I hear the Om as I still my mind, heaven is here, heaven is here, heaven is here right now. When I see your light as I meditate, heaven is here, heaven is here, heaven is here right now. When I feel your love in the garden of peace, heaven is here, heaven is here, heaven is here right now. When each face I see shines just like the sun, heaven is here, heaven is here, heaven is here right now. When virtue rules and guides our lives, heaven is here,